the Eastern wisdom, whether you say it is yoga, mantra, tantra, kundalini, or even if you leave aside, just ask a question: can I live in peace that is permanent, that is all the time available to me? That peace is available to me. When happiness and the joy and the peace is available to me, then what? Then every action and thought and the speech will be immersed in peace and happiness. That is the goal we are seeking. So it is very important to contemplate and reflect. And that is why I'm laying a stress on these fourfold qualifications that includes the 9 practices, 9 steps. And once we live into those 9 steps, the journey is always smooth. Then you are free inside, busy outside. I'm also very busy outside. Do you see? So that state of awareness in the consciousness is available to us. But it is available by choice. See that? It is available to us, to every human being. Every human being is alike. There is no difference. Not at all. The difference appears outside. Huh? You guys are, all guys and girls are smarter than me, look very beautiful, unlike me. But deeper inside, it is the same. Can I see that? When? All the time. Can I see that? So to see that reality, we have to follow these steps. To see the cell, I need a microscope. To see the stars, I need a telescope. You see, simple things. So, in the same way, I need an instrument of knowledge. A telescope is also an instrument of knowledge. Electron microscope is also an instrument of knowledge. Ask Sam, does he see the binary numbers in the computer? No. But everything works on binary numbers. Whether you say cybersecurity, Microsoft Office, virtual meeting, everything. Outside, everything appears different. That is extremely important. We'll also understand what I'm talking, how to discern this process. Discern means Viveka. And when you are in Viveka, the result is dispassion. Result is dispassion. Don't try to intellectualize. And dispassion is the cause of the 6 treasures, the 6 wealth of the mind. So these wealth come in front. And when they come in the front, means what? Thought, speech, and action, whatever you express in your life, they come with the 6 wealth. Someone gets annoyed with you, the 6 wealth is working in you, what will happen? Ask yourself. Think of that life. Think of that living. Yeah, even your honey gets upset over something, and you are living in the 6 wealth. What is going to happen? Think of it. The intellect will take over the mind. You start working on the mind. Oh, honey might be upset because of his or her own attitude, because of his own level of ignorance. It has nothing to do with me. So what happens? Let me express myself, continue in peace and happiness. I asked a simple question to everyone: are you enjoying the journey? Because if you do not enjoy the knowledge, and if it is dry, it will make you bored. Then you will say, I have heard enough, I don't change. So it is all a process of becoming a seeker. When you become a seeker, recognizing that everything is within you, do you need any certification to be a seeker by anyone outside? It's a self certification. So by these 9 practices, life is a series of experiences. That is why I say river of life. And I think I'm repeating the same story again. A guy was in the boat crossing the river to go to his home. So he asked the boatman, do you know the grammar? No, 25% of your life is wasted. So it was dark. So, oh, do you know astronomy? I know all the stars. No, 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 I don't have a time. My focus is on helping the people to cross the river by the boat. 50% of your life is wasted. We can also use the word, do you know yoga? No, 75% of your life is wasted. And the storm came. The boatman asked, do you remember the story? Boatman asked, do you know swimming? Yes, see, I'm a great expert. I'm a great warrior. I'm Bill Gates. I don't want to go there. Huh? 27 years of loveless life. Now, add the story. Find the story with this meaning of Bill Gates. Do you know swimming? No, I don't know swimming. 100% of your life is wasted. There is a storm. So now understand what exactly is the import of this story. River of life is full of delusion, illusion, problem, and suffering. That is our problem. Everyone lives life. No, everyone is living life. But if the life is full of delusion, illusion, problem, and the suffering, then the boatman asks, do you know swimming? It means, do we know to get out of the delusion of storm, tsunami, there and then? We are understanding the very first primary practice, the Viveka, in a different ways. I need to know how good or bad, need not to get involved in likes and dislikes. I'm not interested. What I'm interested in the truth. I'm in a problem. I feel, I experience. What is the truth? So that I can solve the puzzle of my life. We are aware, we get involved in unnecessary details and likes and dislikes, unable to focus on the target to make life happy. So the river of life, my Guruji used to say, river of delusion, illusion, hallucination in every human life. Now take 2 examples and think of it again and again. Circus women, circus women can walk on the rope very high from the ground. Have you seen it? Right? Second example. A guy is intoxicated and driving on an 8-lane highway. Look at the two examples. What is our state? How we are living our life. You have an 8-lane highway, but you are intoxicated. What is that intoxication? Ignorance, delusion, illusion, hallucination. Did you get it? That is why we need to understand. The knowledge is required. And in order to have a knowledge, knowledge with the discernment is required. And the last session, I think I talked about it. What is this discernment? It is understanding. It is clarity. It is clarity. Clarity where? In the intellect. And what is the meaning of clarity? Am I clear that is neighbor's house and this is mine house? Am I clear? That is what the discernment is. Now, in delusion, we miss this point. So then what happens when we miss this point? Then even on an 8-lane highways, we cannot drive smoothly. What to talk of walking on a thin road? And meditation is walking on that thin road. But if I cannot drive on an 8-lane highway, what to talk of a thin road? Do you see? This is the power of discernment. So, river of delusion, highway of illusion. So, if the subject is clear, the goal is clear, we are a seeker. Then we connect knowledge by thinking. Thinking means contemplation, leads to clarity. Clarity leads to understanding. Understanding says, I am clear. So someone becomes angry over you. He is living in ignorance. Internally you say, I have to do nothing. I'm okay. Oh, you are angry over me. Thank you very much. Understand that. We are going deeper. That's why I say we have 3,000 masters. Every great master gave a beautiful interpretation. So I use those interpretation and convert that into a parable and story to make you understand. Take another example so that it should go inside you. We buy a ticket, we board on a plane. What air hostess say? What air hostess say? It gives you the instructions. It tells you, 2 exit doors in the back, 2 exit doors in the front. Exit. The moment you have a delusion, make an exit. But if you don't know the exit door, how can you make it? Viveka helps you to get it. Understand, it is possible with every human being. How serious the problem is, how great the problem is in our life, in our personal life, in our professional life, in our social life, we can get out. Because once we have an exit, then only I can think of who am I. If I'm busy with those delusion, intoxicated, how can I get out of it? See that? So the life of a seeker is to make an exit instantly when the delusion is there. It doesn't mean that, sometime in the beginning, you'll have enough anxiety inside, but now you have an exit door. You exited and done. Finished. You are in the state of Viveka, discernment. So, first practice is Viveka. Second, Viveka is the cause, dispassion is the result, effect. Dispassion is the cause, six, wealth is the result. Six, wealth is the result. And the fourth one, it is known as mumukshu. Yes, we use the phrase eat to, live to, eat. What we say, eat, drink, and be merry. Eat, drink, and be merry. Now, what happens to seek? I live for my awakening. That is the only desire and that is the only goal of life. It lives in you all the time. Someone hates you, I have to evolve. What I have to do with the hatred? Someone appreciates, what I have to do with appreciation? No, it's all the process of my evolution. I have to awaken to myself. Are you getting it? I have to awaken to myself. But that intense desire for freedom from the fear and the insecurity will never enter into the intellect if you don't have the previous steps, Viveka, dispassion, and the sixth wealth. Why? Your mind is already busy. Busy in what? Pay attention. Busy in what? To remove the insecurity, to remove the fear. How? To remove the fear and the insecurities, pain and the suffering from seeking an object outside where it is not. That is the delusion. Huh? That is the delusion. Honey, do you love me? Never say this. First, find out, are you in love? So I'm seeking my honey to certify that now someone loves me, so there is a security. A couple of sessions before, I pointed to Brandy that in one state there is security, in another state there is not. So I have to apply the discernment at every step. Discernment will change your personal life, your professional life, your social. And we apply the discernment all the time. Am I not applying the discernment when I say, here is Lara, here is Samir, here is Sam? Yes, this is discernment, separating. So here is an anxiety, here I am. Finished. That's why I'm laying a lot of stress on this, Viveka. Another point I'm repeating for the sake of understanding, clarity of the real self. One, and the clarity of what is not real self. When you have that clarity 100%, Viveka is settled in your intellect, and that Viveka will take you to the end of the journey. Whether you listen to me or not. Whether you love me or hate, doesn't matter. So, what it leads to? It leads to self inquiry. And the inquiry, simple inquiry, do you remember? Why we add Viveka? Understand, to remove the confusion. Confusion leads to delusion, illusion in our life, and the delusion and illusion leads to ignorance, and ignorance is the cause of suffering in our life. Inquiry, simple inquiry. Do you know about Deepak? No. You are totally ignorant about who joined this session. It's a simple inquiry. So you may ask, who is Deepak? So I'll explain. So you get the knowledge. But in self-inquiry, we have a confusion. What is that confusion? No, that's how the confusion takes over my mind. What is that confusion? Sometime my intellect says I am the body, sometime it says I am the mind, sometime it says I am upset, means I am the emotion. But Master is saying that we are real self, so there is a confusion. So from confusion to clarity, I have to apply Viveka, discernment. That is why we are doing. In science also, we have confusion. How this particular natural phenomena works, so they also separate. We are doing the same thing. Now let us go a little deeper. What do you mean by real? You see, that is how the process of Viveka starts. What exactly is real? Real is a fact that does not change. So it means, is there an unchanging reality, but I don't see it? I find the body is changing, the mind is changing, the thoughts are changing. Someday you will say, oh, this beer guy is very good, I appreciate, I love this guy. But the other, no, okay, he's talking the same thing, making us bored. You see, thoughts are changing. But both these thoughts are constantly changing. Real means fact, truth, unchanging reality. Now take another example. 25 years ago. How old are you now? So I said 61 years old. So the guy told me that 25 years ago, you told me that you are 50 years old. Why you are telling a lie? Did you understand that? I'm just giving you a day-to-day example. I'm asking you, what is reality? Body is changing. It is the age of the body. It is not my age. Have you seen that? It's not my age. Body is constantly changing. So what we are, through the Viveka, what we are inquiring, what exactly is the real? Real is known in Sanskrit as Satya, Sat, truth, unchanging, fact, real, the knowledge that does not change, no alternative fact. That real self does not change. Can I settle there? And what is the meaning of false? Now we are separating. You see? Separating. Neighbor's house, my house. It is exactly the same thing I have to do in my intellect all the time. So what is false? First thing, constantly changing. Check out. So how to filter out what is changing? By inquiry in the mind. And ultimately, then what will be left in the end? Real. Two more points, important. What is now false is known as mithya. So there are three aspects of knowledge. One is truth, that never changes, it is a fact. Other is a false. And the third is untruth. So let us pick up the untruth first. Can I have a two horn on my head? No. Human being doesn't have a horn. It is untruth. The false is presented between the truth and the untruth. Here and now. False does not mean untruth. It also does not mean does not exist. Real does not change. It is eternal. Now see, the things become so clear. You know, in Eastern wisdom, we don't follow the math. Mathematics. A is equal to B, therefore B is equal to A. That is what the mathematics is. Yeah? Huh? You can agree. Now see, wave is water, but water is not wave. Body is real self, but real self is not the body. Find out. Discern. Separate. You are there. Are you getting it? So what happens? When A is equal to B, wave is definitely the water, A is equal to B. But B is not, B is the real self, is not wave. Water is self-existent. Water independently exists, whether you have the waves in the water or not. Clear? So the false, what is false can be falsified. What is real cannot be falsified. And you live into that awareness. That is what is known as mindfulness. That is why we say mithya is illusion, because it appears true, but it is not. The mithya always depends on the real self, but the real self is independent. If there is no real, you cannot have the mithya, false. If you don't have the sky, where comes the blueness of the sky? If you don't have a water, where comes the wave? If you don't have the real self, where comes the body? Mind, breath, intellect. Last point, you have to think of it. I'll take it later. False is perceived in ignorance and falsified in knowledge. I have to go deeper, How long I will continue to talk of this is Viveka separate. What did I say? In ignorance, I see and believe mithya, the false. But the moment I have a knowledge, mithya is falsified. I see the waves in ignorance. I see the reality in knowledge. What is that knowledge? Water. Viveka is not so easy. That's why they put it, Viveka alone can lead to awakening. So pay attention all the time. Ignorance causes suffering, anxiety, duality, conflict, insecurity, fear. They are ways, can be falsified. How? Removing the ignorance. How? By Viveka. What is Viveka? Clarity, understanding, separating, classifying real from the unreal. You see? Vivek Khyatir Viplava Hanopaya, Patanjali says. What is the method? Hanopaya. Hanopaya means what is the method? Vivek Khyati. Vivek Khyati means to settle. Intellect is settled in the Viveka, in the discern. That is the ultimate method. So he proves that meditation is effortless, natural. It cannot be done. So let us start our practice now. Sometimes mind says, I am feeling bored. Now, when the practice will start? We are doing the practice. Anyhow, let us start.